Welcome back, everybody. Mookie here. And are everybody sick of all EVs all the time, always?
You what?
Are people sick of EVs? I'm pretty sick of EVs. I'm pretty dum dun darn ding dar dug dibadone tired
Stop it. Get some help.
of electric vehicles. But I'm also tired of gasoline vehicles. I'm also tired of I'm sitting in a parking lot right now and I can pick out multiple vehicles that have no business being produced. Right in front of me, there's an EV car. There is a Kona electric right in front of me. No use in that vehicle being produced. When I worked for Hyundai, and trying to sell that thing was like trying to sell meat to a vegan.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
That electric car. And this is to people who wanted electric car. They're like, this or the Model 3. I'm just like, there's no freaking contest, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Another vehicle I could think of that we could do without is like the recent generation Nissan Sentra. There's like a 2014 Nissan Sentra we could do without. Toyota Camry we could do without. We have the Avalon, just put a hybrid engine in it. I mean, most people like it better anyways. I mean, I like the Camry, but you know, it is what it is. Subaru Forester right here, also no good. Like, why do we need it? We have the Outback. Other than like the late 90s, early 2000s Forester, which rocks hard, and those are like slammed or super clean. We don't need the Forester anymore. You could eliminate that from your lineup. You have the Outback, you have the Crosstour, you have the Impreza. That's all you really need. And you don't even need the Crosstour and the Impreza hatchback. You would only really need the Crosstour and the Impreza sedan if you're even selling Impreza. I don't think you are. There's a Subaru Ascent right here. That's fine. It's a 3-road SUV. I mean, everybody feels like they have to have one. There's a Mazda CX-30 over here. Nobody really needs that. Or CX-3, sorry, not CX-30, that's a different one. Prius, fine. Hyundai Santa Fe, fine. Jeep Patriot, nobody ever needed a Jeep Patriot. I mean, if you can't afford a Wrangler, you can't afford a Jeep. I mean, just get a Wrangler. Like, it's like when people buy a Lamborghini. They buy a Huracan because they can't afford an Aventador or an SVJ or a Cyan, or an STO. They can't afford that one either. Or a Murcielago, for that matter.
Well, what color's your Bugatti?
A lot of unnecessary vehicles out there, and electric vehicles are probably the newest victim in the war against superfluousness. And just look at the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, identical vehicles, just a different configuration of vehicle, of style. Like, you know, one's a hatchback, one's a sedan, but ultimately the same. And the same could be said of Tesla too. Like, I'm not just some big Tesla fanboy, kind of am.
Hello?
I love you.
We could look at Tesla, and Tesla could just make a more cost-effective, like, Model X. Like, the Model X could just, like, be a single motor and then just charge less for the single motor, like an underpowered single motor or whatever, like a less configured single motor, instead of having produced the Y, which I know the Y is, like, the top-selling freaking car. But it's like, if you have the Y, then why did you come out with the 3? Because you could just make a more cost-effective Y. You could just price cut the Y, because I honestly believe Tesla could just continue to clean house and sell just as many vehicles with just the Y and the S, because those are the only two ones that offer a different experience. The Y Performance, obviously not as fast as the Plaid, but like if you the Plaid X, I'm sorry, but it doesn't really offer too much difference of an experience other than like the 3 rows or whatever. So I would say it's interchangeable. You could get by with just the S and X, like how they did, and became a massive company for it. And then if you want to include the Cybertruck, then go to include the Cybertruck. The point of what I'm saying is that I recently saw, I believe on CNN, and Kevin, if you could track down the article on CNN, is that CNN was saying, are people waning from electric vehicles? And I think yes. I think that people aren't conscious of how much they're kind of getting sick of electric cars, but I think it's starting to creep. Like, we're starting to get, as we get closer to more places and countries that are putting a finite stamp on who's able to sell gas vehicles and who's able to produce gas vehicles, I think we're gonna see continued disinterest in electric cars. I would say definitely if you're somebody who invests in electric vehicles or somebody who invests in stocks around electric car companies, I would definitely invest in ones who are not only receiving money from car sales, who are not only receiving money from electric vehicle car sales. For example, I personally would not invest or have stake in Lucid or in Karma Fisker, because those are companies that are only exclusively selling vehicles. So unless they stay ahead of the market as part of production, as part of having a vehicle that's actually interesting to the public, that fits a need that the public either doesn't already have or fits a need that does it for cheaper. For example, like makes a cheaper S550 AMG Mercedes. Like they make a version of that, but electric. Like they just make a better one. Or they make like a Sprinter van that's all electric that you could purchase, like how Rivian did with Amazon. But you make one purchasable. So you step into a realm that you're not really in, but you also fit a need that is otherwise not being completely fulfilled by electric vehicles, or people haven't gone into that space yet. Like how Tesla did when they announced the Cybertruck. They haven't produced a Cybertruck. Rivian got to that first. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm basically trying to say is that every gas manufacturer has vehicles that are superfluous, has vehicles that have no business being produced, that somehow half of 1% of people end up purchasing, and they don't need to be on their roster. And I think we're going to see a hyperinflated version of that with electric vehicles, because the only thing that really propels a lot of electric vehicles forward as far as sales is either, pretty much clout, ready availability, as opposed to Tesla, because, there's that whole delivery aspect of it. So, for example, for Hyundai, the thing that I think is more accessible to Hyundai, why a lot of people are more accepting of a Hyundai electric vehicle, even though they weren't that accepting of Hyundai gas vehicles, except for when, I say Kia, but so it's the same vehicle, the Kia K5 or the new Sonata with like the little shark face in the front. It's like people finally became accepting of that. But the reason that they're so accepting of the Ioniq 5 and the Ioniq 6 is because of the fact that they're so readily available. As opposed to a Tesla, you have to wait to order. You have to wait till one becomes available. Configuring it is more of a hassle than it is to actually just show up to a Hyundai dealership, which is the traditional way to do it, and just take home an electric car, which I understand. It's like that's the easiest roundabout way to do it, and more people are going to do that than people are going to walk into a Tesla dealership and accept the fact that they have to wait a few weeks, if not a month, if not 7 years, like some of us for the Cybertruck and Roadster, just to get one of those. So I definitely get it. But all of these reasons compound to the idea of that if you are staking or hedging your bets in electric, I would definitely look to somebody like Tesla, like Rivian, who have made their claims in the upper echelon, because number one, Tesla just, not that they did a deal, but Ford and General Motors just made it clear that they're going to be using the NCC, I forget this. It's like the standard charging, whatever it is. Kevin will put it here, but it's basically the standard charger that Tesla uses. It's like national charging standard or whatever it is that Tesla uses for their plugs, for their chargers. And now all these other electric cars like the Mookiehere, like the Silverado EV, like the Hummer EV are going to be produced using the Tesla supercharger. So that means the whole Tesla network will be permissible to third-party electric vehicles, which is a crazy stake in the game. So now Tesla doesn't really have to, not that they won't worry about it, but Tesla doesn't really have to put all their eggs in the basket of car sales, just like why they did solar, why they do SpaceX, why Tesla does all these different, has all these different kinds, why they do charging, why they do like, we'll pay money for a wall charger. They do like platform that they have, they use the popularity that they possess to produce more revenue. And it works. So they're going to continue to build on that as they finally actually release the vehicles that people have been waiting for. They're going to continue to do that, as opposed to somebody like Volvo, who intends to make their entire line electric by like 2030 or whatever time frame it is, that they intend to make their whole line electric. And I believe that they will suffer for it. I believe Polestar will catapult into the upper levels or the upper tiers of maybe popularity, maybe even the upper levels of maybe performance and competitiveness with the electric market. But on the base level, Volvo, I don't believe they're going to be able to compete, and I think they're going to suffer. And the same goes for Hyundai if they decide to make an all-electric line. And the same thing goes for Toyota if they decide to make more cars electric. It's like this whole Toyota Electrify deal. There's a roundabout way of saying is that I think people are going to they're not realizing how sick of electric vehicles they already are. And there's still a lot of good gas vehicles out there. There's still a lot of excellent gas options out there. And the problem is that those gas options are continue to wane and go away until we're left with the same exact cookie cutter car across every single manufacturer. And then the ones that are different, the ones that are like a Lucid Air, like a Rivian RT1, R1S or RS1, or that are like a Model X or a Roadster or a Cybertruck that are a Karma Fisker, even though I don't see anyone who buys a Karma Fisker, but it's different. Hey, it's different. Like, aside from all those vehicles, from those companies, they are going to suffer because of the fact that there's just going to be a myriad of options that are going to be very inexpensive to own or very expensive to purchase, but also not really desired by the public, only because of the fact that they're a vehicle that's easily accessible to purchase and to get into and to maintain and to develop it into your lifestyle, but they won't be interesting vehicles, which is a big reason why I think that this all kind of roundabouts into what that dude in blue was talking about in his video, you know, the car scene between 2012 and 2023 or 2022, I forget what the video said, but why everything's going to be different. And I think I want to do my own version of that video as well, because it's like things will just continue to be different. They're going to keep changing, and it's crazy. And the car culture is going to have to change. The car culture is going to have to, for those few of us left, those cars enthusiasts, we're going to have to change. We're going to have to look at changing and doing things a little bit differently, because all those guys that are just rolling around thinking it's cool to ride around with their half cab Chevy Silverado dropped to the floor on 30-inch tires or wheels or whatever, or 24-inch wheels with like run flats on it, it's like, buddy, like, you guys are the first to go, and you're not helping anybody, okay? Like, but I don't know why I brought that up, but those guys just annoy me. But anyways, that's what I had to say. I just saw that article from CNN, or that story running from CNN, and I just thought about like how true it was. But it's been true for gas vehicles for a long time, which is why we see them suffer in certain areas, which is why they gotta seek alternative methods of producing net income, or producing more, maybe just by volume alone, because they're such long-standing. But unfortunately, new electric vehicle automakers, ones who are only electric, and that's their only stake in the game, that's going to be difficult for them, so they need to diversify. But yeah, that's been my take on the matter. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment on this video. If you hate it, go ahead and comment that you hate it, so I won't do it again. If you like it, go ahead and comment so that maybe I will do it again, and worse or better or funnier or less. But I'll see you guys in the next one.